everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
Did you have to think about who I was there for a second? Okay, anyhow, so this is our 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. But before we start with that, I know, Mandy, we've got a lot of things to talk to you about. We're going to try and get through them quickly, but we also have a giveaway that we're doing. So, Mandy, take it away.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about book club. Book club is Friday, July 17th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We are reading Shadows of Sparta by C.R. Jane, and we have a giveaway for this one. It is 3 signed book plates. They even say the book plate itself says Shadows of Sparta, so that's kind of cool. It's signed by C.R. Jane, so we'll be giving 3 of those away during the live show. So just make sure you've hit that subscribe button and join us, and we will be giving those away during that time. We also have discussion questions from C.R. Jane herself to use. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Even if you haven't read the book or listened to it, come join us. We're going to have fun. So we'd love to see you there. And there is still time because there is awesome audio. It is a bigger book, but there's really good audio by Samantha Brentmore and Teddy Hamilton. So join us.
Yeah. I mean, gladiators. What more do you want?
Yes. Okay, and then continuing on our list, we do have our giveaway to
Channel
do.
membership.
Channel membership, yes.
Yeah.
So channel membership. Thank you guys, those of you who've joined our channel membership. It's totally optional. Like, we're not going to hide videos from people who aren't membership members. It's just a fun way for you guys to support us. There's little perks for you. So check that out if you're interested. And thanks to those of you who have already done that. We appreciate it. We appreciate your support. Another way you guys support us, though, is just by simply commenting, liking, subscribing, hyping our videos. So all of those things are fantastic ways to support us. And we really, really appreciate it. So that's why we're doing our 26 books of 2026 giveaway. So,
but first, the other way they still can support us if they want to is by going through our Amazon store, right?
Yes. So you can go to our Amazon store and shop the link down there. Anything that you buy after you've used that link, even if it's nothing from our list in there, still supports us. It gives us a small commission. It's nothing like exciting, but hey, it can all add up eventually.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. And just thank you for being here, even if you don't do those things. Thank you. Every time you watch, it's great.
My tote that has become my entire identity, Jessica, is full of channel membership name. Oh my gosh, not channel membership names. Channel subscribers. I'm so sorry. Channel subscribers names are in my tote. This was an insane task. We're going to do this differently in the future, but also we will announce our next giveaway probably next week, but we do still have the Bray giveaway going on, which all you have to do is go back and check out the Bray video and leave a comment to be entered to win. And there's the Ravens Cup tea certificate to them. And Jessica's tried the tea, said it was yummy.
Great. Yes.
And then there's On the Breakaway, signed by Eden Knox. And then D.W. Cole's latest book, Honeyed Vengeance. There's a signed copy as well as some ebooks that she has partnered with us to give away. So I'm reading that right now, and it's very good. So make sure you go check that video out.
Yeah. So we tried to download everybody's names and put them in the wheel, but it didn't work because there's too many of you. And so Mandy had to print out and cut out all of your names. So we're going to give her a round of applause for that because that was a lot of work on her end. We have a different plan moving forward, but let's do this giveaway. We are going to be giving away the Coveted cover special edition bind up of the Cloister trilogy by Celia Aaron. I saw it yesterday. It's packaged. It's getting on the ship on Sunday. It'll be on its way here, and like on its way here. So about 2 weeks it'll be here, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. It's gorgeous. So this one is unsigned, but it will have a book plate with it. So let's do it. One lucky subscriber. Let's figure out who that one lucky subscriber is.
Into my hockey tote.
Okay. Over. Christy Wilson, too far over. Christy Wilson, yay! Okay, so Christy, what does she need to do?
She needs to send us an email within 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So,
to bestiebookreviews at
yes.
gmail.com. And then we will get that out to her as soon as they're here.
So some people have their actual name as their YouTube username, and then other people have
The YouTube username.
like usernames. So Christy
Yeah.
must be using her name.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite the chore. Okay, so I'm
Yes.
throwing all that out, and we are
Okay.
doing something different with our giveaways in the future. But
Yeah.
just always make sure you hit that subscribe button, because that is how you will be it will always be like a requirement to win, is to be a subscriber, because we're
Yeah.
wanting to
Yeah. And in the
like
future,
give back to our subscribers who are
we'll
supporting
probably
us.
have like a specific video for you guys to comment on. So you have to be a subscriber and comment on a specific video, because that was a lot for Mandy.
We will talk about that more next time. But
Yes,
for right
exactly.
now, don't forget to check out that Brave video. And now we are way deep into this, so let's jump
Let's
into
do it.
our
1 minute book recs. Okay, so let's talk about your reading week really quick, and my reading week.
Just mine.
Yeah, just yours. Nobody needs to know about mine.
Okay, so I am in my audiobook era,
Yes.
because all I do is pole dancing
Yes.
and work outside. Okay, so I got 13 books this week.
Okay. Mine's a little weird. So I read I read two books into one trilogy, so I still need to read the last one. So I read 2 trilogies this week-ish, and 2 books for work that I'm not going to talk about. So I read 14 books, but I'm only talking about 9.
Okay.
If I did my math correctly. That was hard.
Who knows?
Who knows? So, and I will be camping this week, and I have a list of books that I
You're
intend.
like, you're gonna have so many more books. You always
You do. I'm only talking about 9. You're
yeah, but
talking
you
about
still
13.
read more than me. You're like, I hardly read it all, and you got 14 books then.
Well, I mean, I was thinking like to talk about. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I told you I read the big long series. So, okay, you're going first.
Okay.
Ready, Freddy, go.
No, I'm not ready yet. Jeez.
Well,
Okay, this one I physically read. I physically read like 3 or 4 books this week. Everything else is audio.
I intend to do that when I'm camping, because there's some things I want to read, but everything was audio for the most part because I was working so much.
So lots of audio books this week for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Go.
Okay. I have a question about one of your rereads.
Which one?
Are you going to talk about your reread? Oh, it's a trilogy that you reread. Is that something you're talking about then?
The Dark Ones?
By Addison Kane? Is that for work? Okay, I didn't think so, but you said you read something that you weren't going to talk about.
I read 2 books for work, and when you see them, you'll know. You'll know.
Okay. Those are the only reread books that are coming up.
Really? Because I have reread this Addison Kane one before. I read it before.
No, the Addison Kane books are the only ones that you've reread that came up this week. That's why I was confused when you said you were not going to talk about something for work.
Well, I'll tell you. I don't know why they're not coming up, because they're in mine, but I'll tell you later. Okay.
So I read Good at Being Alive by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I physically read this. I started it while we were at Spicy Reads reading by the pool. And then it's hard to read a physical book on the plane with lighting. And so I put it aside, and then I needed to pick it back up and finish it because I was loving it. So this is about Bex and Theo. Bex's family all dies. So this book is a little sad. I cried a few times during it. And she always kind of felt like the black sheep in her family. And it's like her childhood is explained, like we understand why she felt like that, and it's sad. So she is determined now to save her family's travel agency. There's a competing travel agency vlog that's all online that is trying to secure a television deal. Bex's dad had already secured this reality show, and now that he has passed away, it's in limbo. So Bex pitches that she can do this, and then it gets taken to a whole new level when the business partner Theo, who runs he's British, but he runs like the London office. And so he is there because he was business partners with their dad. And they come up with this, the people who are going to do the show come up with this plan that they are going to pretend to be married and on their honeymoon while they travel all these different places. And they don't like each other at all. But Theo also has like quite the past. So this is Elizabeth Rourke writing Grumpy Sunshine like she does so well, with really good banter, all the emotions. You laugh, you cry. I loved it so much. 5 stars. It will definitely be a top read for me.
Okay.
As it slides off my book pile. Yikes.
So the first book that I'm going to talk about is the first part of this trilogy. So the first 3 books. It's really weird. I'll explain it when I talk about the second book here in a minute, how it works. But this is Addison Cain. This is really dark. I had to do a reread because Addison is notorious for taking forever to finish her series. And she just put out the 6th book in this overall series. And I couldn't remember everything that happened. So I picked up this is her alpha claimed series. This one's the bind up of the first 3 books. These are Shepherd's books. That is the hero for these. So the first one is actually called Born to be Bound. These are dystopian Omegaverse, and they are dark. Addison has a very interesting brand of writing the way things are very non-con, dub-con kind of situations. So they are for sure dark. So this is about our Omega, who is Claire. She is trying to, like, she lives in like what they call the undercroft, or not the undercroft. She lives like in the lower levels of this dome that everybody's living in because the air is poison. And this guy who came out from the undercroft, which is Shepherd, which is kind of like our prison. They put people in prison and they never get out. And he has kind of taken over the government, and he is a dictator basically. And she has to go to him because all the Omegas are starving. And so when she goes to him, even though she's covered herself in the scent of dead people's clothes, she's wearing dead people's clothes, and she's trying to cover her Omega scent and taking blockers, it doesn't work. And so he kidnaps her and forces a claim on her. There's actual cheating in this book too. All sorts of things. So I did the reread of that so that I could do the new read. So I caught up on the first 3, and I'll explain the next 3 in a minute.
Okay. So at Spicy Reads, Sinclair Kelly was going to be there. So I bought, before we went, Runaway Bond. And I really enjoyed the first one in this, so that's why I decided to get the second one. The first one I read as a convincing. So this is the second book in the Darling Omega series. So this is Shay's story. Shay is determined to not be in a pack. She had a trauma happen when she was trying to join another pack, and she has decided that she'd rather just be by herself. She is determined to get the saloon into her name and be allowed to run it, but the council is being very difficult about that because of her past and that she doesn't have a pack. Her and Ridge is in his own pack, and he's a beta, and he really likes her, and he's playing like the very long game with being friends with her, so eventually she'll want to join the pack. In his pack, we have somebody who has a secret, who also has a stalker. And so there's a lot going on in this one. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars. But I will say I enjoyed the first one a lot more than this one. But I still did enjoy it. I just really liked the first one.
Same. Okay, so I continued on in this alpha claimed series. So the first 3 books are about Claire and Shepherd. Then we break off and we get Brenya's book, and she's in a different dome. And we still see Claire and Shepherd and how their life plays out, but it's Brynja's story. So let's talk about that one. So the first book in this, which will be a trilogy, I'm in the middle of the 3rd book right now, is Stolen by Addison Cain. So Brynja is what she believes she's a beta. She works on the dome. She's a little neurodivergent. She does have this titled as neurodivergent. So she's a little neurodivergent, and it has an accident while working on the dome, and ends up like cutting her face pretty badly, where it has a scar where it kind of droops on one side. Once she's rescued, she goes back to the beta facility, and then something happens where she is in the street one day, and it talks about like, because she missed out on eating the food and stuff that they had for the betas, because they're drugging their betas to keep them docile, because she was hanging for 24 hours from this thing and didn't get to eat that food, then her omega side started to come out. So she's actually an omega disguised as a beta. She didn't realize that she was. And that is where the leader of the dome sees her. He's an alpha, and he takes her and claims her. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want him. She doesn't want anything in the situation. And then we see Shepard's second in command, Jules, who is a part of the first book, comes in and ends up claiming Brynja as well, but he is a beta, and it is a love triangle situation. And I'm in the middle of the third book, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
You will not want to read this.
Are you going to tell us what you rated that one, or no?
Well, I mean, when I first read them, I was giving them 3 stars because I was like, what is this? But now, I mean, I'm still going to give them 4 or 5. I mean, I like the series. It's just very dark and very weird in certain areas.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So last week I read The Breakout by Maddie Daniel. It was the book I got out of the pool to go buy.
Okay.
And there's a siblings in there. So Bryn and Brent are in there, and they talk about their sister Bailey, who moved to Amity. And I had read the first book in the Amity series, but I had not read the next book yet. And the next book is their sister's story, the sister who avoids them, won't answer phone calls, like ghosts them a lot. And it was really, really upsetting to Bryn. And so I really wanted to know what Bailey's deal was. So I picked up Scars of You by Maddie Daniel. And this is Bailey's story. And Bailey is running basically from her childhood. It was very traumatic, and she just doesn't want to put herself back around her siblings because of this. And so she is up in Western Washington in this little tiny town, and she runs a coffee stand, owns it. And on her first night in town, she has a one night stand with this guy, Wes. And then she finds out that he's actually her neighbor. So that we fast forward, I think it's almost 2 years later, and Wes is still like very much interested in Bailey, but Bailey just doesn't want anything to do with them, and she actually kind of finds him annoying. He drives this loud, obnoxious car, and she can't stand it. But Wes is dealing with a lot of stuff. He was in the military, and he has some serious PTSD that he has not really dealt with. And so in this book, he continues to pursue Bailey, and eventually Bailey gives in, and they kind of start to have a thing with each other, and then we kind of go from there. So I love this. I rated it 5 stars. I really, really appreciated the dive into our hero, who had some serious trauma from being in the military, and how fireworks bothered him. But yet he sees all of those things as being very weak, and he doesn't want to be weak. So he doesn't want to talk about it. So in turn, about not doing anything about it, he can't get better. And I just really liked that, because I think that's something that is not talked about enough, that when people are in the military, it's very much, and things might be changing now. I don't know anybody currently in the military, but prior, it was very much like, you got hurt, it was like a suck it up type thing. And then you have all these men who, I'm sure it's happened to women too, but I'm thinking more like a little bit further back, that have PTSD and things like that, and they don't want to, statistically, men don't want to seek treatment. Women are more open to it. So you have a lot of people who are in the military who have all this trauma and injuries and lifelong things, and they don't do anything about it. And it's really difficult for them. And so I really appreciated a story that kind of looked at that a little bit and addressed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a reality for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of my uncle, too. Like when he came back from Vietnam after losing his whole platoon, he was the only survivor. all I heard about was how he had nightmares and horrible things his whole life, like after coming home, but it was never dealt with because we didn't talk about it. So, and then you wrote a book about it.
I have very, very personal experience with that.
Yep.
Somebody who was in Korea a week or two after they turned 17.
Yeah.
Pretty traumatic.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyhow,
Because back in the day, you could drop out of high school and go right into the military.
Yep. So, okay, ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about it. So,
did that heavy dive.
Yeah. Whoopsie. Okay. So, Kaylee King has a rejected mates duology that what?
I had one more note about that series.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My suggestion is read Embers of, if you want to dive into this, read Embers of You, the first book in the Amity series, and then read The Breakout and then go back to Scars of You. You'll have it's a really good reading path to do it that way. Highly recommend all three. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Continue.
You're welcome. Okay. So Kaylee King has a rejected mates duet. And I went to go see, like I started reading it, I haven't finished it yet. But I wanted to see if she had audio for it, because I thought I'd seen audio. Well, no, she didn't have audio for that. But then I saw that she'd have audio for a couple of her other books. And so I was looking at them to see what they were. And I saw that this one was like, well, I'll tell you the premise in a minute, but this one caught my attention, so I listened to it this week. So this is called Wolfbound, and again, it's by Kaylee King. So this is about Pruitt and Riker. So Riker, they're shifters, and Riker recognizes his mate, and the way you do that, like your fated mate, is like they show like a gold glow around them when you guys see each other. So he grew up in this pack with his mate. When he was 13, she was like 9, and he saw the golden glow. So it doesn't mean they're doing anything. He just knows that that is his fated mate, and how fortunate he was that he found her at a young age, and they would get to grow up together, and eventually they would get married and whatever, because that was his person. Well, shortly after discovering that they were mates, she and her parents are killed in a car accident. And he mourns her. When the book starts out, he's an adult, and it's his fated mate. Like, he's just, beside himself that she's not there. And so he is left home. He does not stick around his packer anymore. It's too painful. There are some like rogue shifters that he's hunting down with his best friend, and he finds out they're going back towards the pack in Montana, so he has to go home. When he goes home, he sees Pruitt. Pruitt is his sister's new bestie. Pruitt is his fated mate. She's not dead, but she does have amnesia. And I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I don't know what happened to the timer.
I don't know either.
That was way over a minute. If the
timer
didn't,
the timer didn't work. I got no
I must
clue.
have accidentally paused it or something.
Yeah.
All right. So this was not a book that I got out of the pool to read, but it was an author we met at Spicy Reads. So I wanted to read one of her books, and that is Hearts on Fire by Christina Berry. And I believe she's also going to be at Bray. So this is her first book in the Hearts of Texas series. And we have Chloe. Chloe moves into her grandma's house after she inherits it. Her plan is to remodel, like get it all fixed up and ready, sell it, and leave. And she meets Bodhi. Bodhi is a three-legged cat that seems to kind of run the neighborhood and hangs out at her house a lot. And she's interested in finding the owner. So she figures out who the owner is, and that is Drew, the hot fireman next door, or a couple like in the neighborhood. And Chloe is working through a lot of like trauma that's happened to her in the past and things. So being with a fireman is probably not like the best idea for her, but the two of them kind of fall for each other. I listened to this one. It's a fairly, my timer's up, a fairly fast paced story. It's like, it's a good listen. Like, I don't know. I didn't ever feel bored. I really enjoyed listening to it, if that makes sense. So I rated it 4 stars. And yeah, it was good.
Okay. All right. Well, we can stay on for my next one. I know you love it when I do that, but it was my convincing book. Y'all voted, and it was Brother's Best Friend. So
check out
go
that video.
watch that and my torture. Okay, next.
You're awful.
Torture.
It was not torture.
For you?
But the next book that I read was.
Oh, no. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Okay. I read, well, actually listened to Long Live the King by Lexi Black.
Okay.
And the cover that will be shown for the video is not the cover that well, wait. No, there's a different cover, but it's hard to find that cover where it's a male model and he's very good looking. And I really like the cover. So I was like, I want to read this book. But she only had the illustrated cover at the event, but I was like, that's okay, I'll still read it. So I downloaded it and read, or I got the audio and listened to it. So this is about Tyler. She loves this band a lot, and so she's standing out in the pouring down rain trying to be the first one in to see them, and she's been out there for hours. She's like almost got hypothermia, and this guy with like a hood on walks in, and he's like, come on, let's get you inside, like this is crazy that you're standing out here. And when they get inside, she realizes that he's Eric, the drummer, who they call the king. And they have a one night stand. And then several months later, Eric has successfully tracked her down and convinces her to come on tour with him to write a book about him. And I enjoyed the book up until the very end.
Okay.
I could spoil it and rant, but it was a horrible ending.
Okay.
I already ranted to you about it, so
You
I don't
did.
know if I should rant about it on.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. We don't want to give away spoilers, but So what did you rate it?
I gave it 2 stars because it was decent for the first 90%.
And then she dropped it to 2. Okay.
Let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do a video where we rant about books we didn't like. We typically don't do that, but
Mandy's dying to rant right now.
If you need the tea, let us know.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next book, we're just going to move on before Mandy starts ranting.
It was ridiculous.
I know. Okay.
You agreed with me.
I did, yes. And I do, yeah. Okay. I picked up a duet next. I only read the first book. Thanks. I only read the first book in it. I'll read the second, or listen to the second book this week. But this is Sweetly Obsessed by Kira Cole. This is a dark rom-com. Joe Arden does the audio, which is, what grabbed me at first. So this is about Lola and Enzo. So Enzo he's been watching Lola her whole life. Like when they were young, their families were both in Mafia ties, even though it's not really Mafia, but their families were a part of that. And so she knew him growing up until a certain age. And then their dads, who were best friends, had a falling out, and then she didn't see him. He has watched her ever since because she's been kind of like in trouble. Well, he's a billionaire. He is, he owns a whole bunch of companies. And so he's been stalking her, watching her. And he started a text conversation with her, claiming it was the wrong phone number and pretending to be a guy named Alex so that he can have contact with her. So she thinks that she has this wrong number guy that she talks to all the time named Alex. And then she ends up going to work one day, and guess who's taking over the company? It's Enzo. So Enzo is now her boss on top of it. So a lot of other things go on, but she thinks that, she's got an attraction to Enzo. She also has the guy on the phone, and, there's that. So I gave it a solid 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I'm ready for the next half. Like the audio just came out this week for the second half, and I just haven't got to it yet.
Okay. Next.
Yeah.
I read a book off my bookshelf. I think we got this back in Phoenix or Texas. I think it was Texas.
Okay.
I can't remember. But we're also going to see her at Brace, so I wanted to get started on some of her books, and that is Darkest Deeds by Cora Kenborn. And so in this we have Nico. Nico is a hitman, and he is hired to take out the daughter of a mob boss. I think he's like the Russian mafia boss. And he is very eager to do this because he actually has a history with Ava, and he is very excited to get his revenge. But as we all know in these books, it's never going to be that easy. This is it's a short book, so it's very fast paced in this. So I'm not going to really talk about anything else in it. I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars, and I will definitely be checking out more of her books. It's just, I mean, what I told you is, yeah. That should hook you. I mean, he's hired to take her out.
Yeah. That doesn't say love story. I don't know what does.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next book, again, for whatever reason, this week was the week of picking up duets and then not listening to the second half. I don't know. I'm in the middle of this one. I actually started it this morning. So this one, or yesterday, last night, I was listening to it this morning. This is 9 Months to Bear by Nicole Fox. This is the latest duet from Nicole Fox. This is about Olivia and the poor hero with the worst name ever, Stefan Stefanov. His parents hated him. Anyhow, this is the first book in the Stefanov Bratva. So Olivia is a doctor, and she's opened up a fertility clinic. She wants to help women conceive, and she wants to do it in a very compassionate way. But her clinic is going downhill fast because her mentor has stolen a bunch of her clients, and she is in the rears when it comes to paying the bills, and she needs to find funding right away. So she's been throwing proposals out left, right, and sideways, but this woman, that was her mentor, is sabotaging her every chance she gets, and so she's about to lose everything. Stefan and her meet at a gala, and he basically, offers to fund her if she'll find him a surrogate. But he doesn't want just any surrogate. He wants her to be the surrogate. Oh, and he wants to do it the old-fashioned way, too.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Now, if that doesn't say love story.
I know, but he just really doesn't. He doesn't have the ability to love. I mean, he's a mafia guy, and there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on in this book. So I'm in the second one right now, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I enjoyed it. Nicole Fox, I could always count on her to give me a lot of soap opera drama with a baby attached somewhere.
That is true.
Yeah, I haven't read her in years, but this one just sounded good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I am at the port. Well, my next book is one that you listened to last week that I said, oh, that sounds good. You had a lot of books last week that I wanted to read.
Yeah.
So I listened to, while I was pulling Tansy, Saving Jesse's Girl by Lauren Beale. So I'll give a quick synopsis since Jessica literally just talked about this last week. The audio is fantastic, by the way, as well. So we have twins, Benji and Jesse. And Jesse is like the high roller, like has the nice house, the fancy cars. And Benji is mute. And Jesse kind of controls his whole life. And so Benji doesn't have much, lives on the bad part of town, and just is barely getting by off of Jesse's scraps, basically. One day they're at a diner and they meet the waitress, Emmy, and Jesse immediately wants to make her his, but Benji's kind of attracted to her, but he doesn't really think that she's going to notice him when she can be noticing his brother. But his brother is a horrible person, and he's very, very abusive. And when he starts being abusive to Emmy, Benji steps in. I shall leave it at that.
Okay.
It's a dark romance by Lauren Beale, so people could read it or use their imaginations.
Yep. And you gave it?
I rated it 4 stars.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, so the next
book, a great way to pass the time while pulling Tansy.
Yeah. So the next book I listened to, so I listened to that Kaylee King book earlier in the week, and I was like, well, what else does she have? And then I realized that I had a book of hers that I'd gotten the audio for, and it was already on my Kindle. And so I was like, well, let's listen to this one. It's got vampires. And then I remembered why I never finished this before, because I've tried it like 3 times and I couldn't get through it. So let's just talk about this one because I forced myself. So this one is called Bloody Kingdom by Kaylee King. This is about Quincy. Quincy is she was a trauma nurse, and she had a week where all of her patients started dying on her, and her mom had pretended to be a psychic for a while, and her mom had like told her at one point that she was going to kill off all of her patients. And so now she's quit being a nurse, and she is working in a bar because she killed all of her patients, apparently. So then she gets kidnapped, and she's held by this mysterious man who is insisting that she gives palliative care to this elderly gentleman who is at his home. So the man that kidnaps her, or that holds her, is supposed to be a vampire. This takes place in New Orleans, so you get some of those vibes going. Here's the deal. You're like chapters and chapters and chapters into this book before it's ever revealed that he's a vampire. I was so damn bored. I didn't care. And I know why I didn't finish this book the first 2 times. So I kept thinking maybe it'll get better because it is a duet. No. So I gave it 3 stars. The writing wasn't terrible. It was just, I was bored. Somebody else might really love this. But for me, no. No.
Okay. Well, next, Taylor Swift, in case you hadn't heard, Jessica, got married last weekend.
I could give a flying fuck.
You're horrible. Anyway.
I do not like her. Okay.
So I thought, what better way to celebrate Taylor and Travis than to read the New Romantics series, the first book, Paper Rings by Brittany Nicole. Brittany Nicole loves Taylor Swift, so there's lots of references in here, but it is not overdone. I feel like you can easily read this. If you don't like Taylor Swift, you probably, like Jessica, didn't even realize the New Romantics or Paper Rings had anything to do with Taylor Swift when we bought these books. So let's talk about this one. So we are going back to the Brownstone. So if you read the RomComs, you know all about the Brownstone. If you've not read the RomComs, you can read this just fine. It's 2nd generation. There are a lot of people in here, but she does have handy guides at the beginning to explain family trees and who's who and all of that. So this is 2nd generation, and now the kids are all grown up and they are all moving back into the Brownstone for one reason or another. So Addie is moving in to help her sister, even though she's pretty busy and may not have much time to help her sister. JJ has moved in because he has a 4-year-old daughter. He's on the hockey team, and his daughter, he is married, but his wife has gone, won't answer his phone calls. He's trying to serve her with divorce papers, but he can't track her down, and she wants nothing to do with him or their daughter. Addie and JJ used to be best friends. They barely will even speak to each other. And Addie's big dream was always to play goalie in the NHL. And she is not. She is now a coach. But we know she was very successful. We just don't know what happened. So this is told in dual timelines, and it pieces everything together for you. I absolutely loved it. There is a ton of hockey in this. So if you really like reading hockey, you will love this a lot. I rated it 5 stars. It was phenomenal.
Okay.
And also, I mean, look at how cool my book is. Mm-hmm. I just love it.
Okay. So the next book that I have is, I think I got this one for my birthday or for Christmas from the hubby. I mean, really, that's within 23 days or 30 days or so of each other. So I forget what came first. But it's a Mafia book, and it is Brought for Bride by TJ McGuire. I listened to the audio in this. The audio is done very, very well. I will say that the hero and heroine both have accents. Like the hero or the heroine has a Russian accent, and the hero has a slight Italian accent. It's not really bad. But the female narrator who did the heroine made it pretty thick, so you can't listen to it too fast, and it's not a short book. Okay, so this is about Ileana and Arturo. Ileana is a part of the Bratva, and the Bratva rules Las Vegas, and her father, they all decide that they need to merge their families And that's really what this is about. So that's when she meets Arturo, and Arturo is like the Italian stud. So for our heroine's very like she's been trained with her brothers. She fights. She's not a demure woman in any way, shape, or form. She gets to be like borderline obnoxious, if you ask me, but that's just me because I don't understand how a woman could take out a whole room of men, but okay, fine. So anyhow, she meets Arturo. They like each other from the get-go. It's kind of insta-lovey. I did give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I want to read the next book. But I think if the audio hadn't been done so well, I probably would have rated it lower. Just because it got to be obnoxious how like I get that everybody seems to want a strong heroine, but at what point do we draw the line and say there's a difference between strong and obnoxious and this just isn't realistic at all? Which I get that things aren't supposed to be realistic, but we've gone a little over the top here. So this really is their story of them meeting and getting married. Like there's not a lot going on here, but it sets up the series, which has you have to read in order because there's an overarching storyline that goes through all the books. So
Well, I think
will read
sometimes
the
when you
second
have a strong heroine that you're portraying as a strong heroine, but you're making her obnoxious, it borders on her feeling incompetent.
one. And she wasn't really obnoxious. She was just over the top strong, I guess, in a lot of ways. Like, and I'm not talking like emotional strength. We're talking like she was 6 foot, first of all. Which is fine because there are tall women out there, but she was 6 foot. She could keep up with the boys. She could whip her brother's ass, and her brother's this big muscular dude. And I get that there are small women that can do, or women in general that can whip a guy's butt. But when she's standing in a room with 5 or 6 guys and she takes them all out, she's
Well,
not
that would
Black
be
Widow.
hard for like a strong man to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who's
It just
trained.
wasn't like it just wasn't. Yeah, like I said, she's not the Black Widow. Okay, so but again, it was I did enjoy it. There were just things like that that kind of drove me nuts.
Okay.
Okay.
You would rather your heroines at home baking cakes. We see how you are, Jessica.
I want her heart broken and barefoot and pregnant. Yes, exactly.
Baking a cake.
Baking a cake. Yeah.
While
So
crying about how she needs a man. Okay.
No, I want her to have emotional strength, not obnoxious strength.
I was just being funny.
I know you were. Okay, what's your next book?
Okay, my next book is one that you also listened to last week. This is the last one, though, that I have that's a repeat from last week. So, do you know what it was?
Was it the Deborah Garland one?
Yeah, that's the one I did. Okay. So, this is Wicked Deception by Deborah Garland. I'll try and be fast again since it was talked about last week. So we have Fallon. Fallon is very quirky. She's probably like maybe on the spectrum. I don't know if we're ever specifically told, but her dad wants her medicated up and she's tired of it. So she's living in this flat by herself with her plants, and she tells her dad she takes her meds, but she doesn't. And she has the audio is fantastic, so I highly recommend listening to this one even if you're not typically an audiobook lover. Like, this one is so good. So her plants, she talks to them and they talk back to her in like appropriate voices. Like, it is so good. Like, it's hilarious. I loved it so much. So she also just has a lot of trauma because her dad is horrible. And next door is Reese. Reese works for the Irish Mafia, and she believes that Reese is her boyfriend, and she's like very invested in his life. She surveillance him. Like, her plants all know about him. Like, she brings him plants. Like, it is fantastic. And Reese is a little oblivious to the whole situation, and then at one point she is sort of blackmails him, not really realizing she's blackmailing him, into committing to going to a bunch of events with her for the holiday season. And yeah, it's so good. And the audio, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character in this story?
Basil.
Yeah, that's mine too. Mine too. Basil's
The plant.
And if you're listening to us, we do mean basil is a plant.
Yeah, Basil was my favorite.
Mhm.
Isn't that sad? But I love it because her basil plant is her comfort. Like she'll hold it when she needs comfort.
He is her emotional support plant.
He's her emotional support plant.
Basil
I
may
love
not
it.
realize that though, and he probably would not be down for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's
It's so
so
good though.
good though. So
I
good.
know,
I
the
rated
thing
it
is
5 stars.
I
It
don't
will
know that I've
definitely be on my top for this month.
yeah, I don't know that I've ever read a Deborah Garland that I haven't thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah,
She's a
true.
good author. She's got good
Hmm.
stuff. So
This
okay,
one just the plants just really elevated
it
it. And
did.
listening to it in audio, so you hear like Basil is a man, and so when she's talking to him, it's duet narration, and so he talks back to her,
Yeah.
and it's just so good.
It was. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about my last book of the week. Um, this is a one with a
No,
strong yes. This is one with a strong heroine that's not obnoxious.
oh,
So
that's good.
yeah. So this is Good for Her by Tyler Page. This is a dark rom-com type book as well. I don't know that she bills it as a rom-com, but I've seen that it's called a rom-com, and there are a lot of comedic things that happen in here, which is just Tyler's writing in general. So this is about Evie. The book starts out with Evie at the age of 16. She is on set with her mom. Her mom is one of the final girls. Her mom makes horror movies. She's like the queen of horror movies. And she's grown up on set. And that is where she met Sebastian. Sebastian is the same age as her. And he's basically a child actor, but he found his niche in these horror flicks as well. And so they're very close. They're always on set together. We see that they decide that they're going to lose their virginity to each other when her mom is out one night, and that is what they do. And then they go and like play around on set afterwards and check out the set, and that is where they find her mom hanging from the rafters dead. She'd been having dinner with 6 gentlemen, and they know that she didn't kill herself, but all of Hollywood is thrown out that she killed herself. And so then we fast forward 5 years later, and Evie has come back to Hollywood, and she is being cast in one of these horror flicks. It's whatever the title is like the sixth horror flick. Then Sebastian has made a name for himself as this horror stud guy actor. He is still in love with her, but she is back to track down the 6 men who killed her mother and to get revenge. But she has to act in this movie and be the heroine to his hero in this horror flick. And it dredges up all the things. So I gave it 5 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. It was just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So my next book, before we switch over and I talk about it, I want to give a little info. So this is the next book in Catherine Cowell's Starlight Grove series. If you are interested in this series, go read Across the Vanishing Sky. It was 5 stars for me. I loved it. Go read that and skip my review for this next book. It can be read as a standalone, but if you're wanting to read the series and you haven't read the first book, go read it first before you listen to my review. Okay. You have been warned. All right. So now we will talk about Into the Fading Twilight. This has, I listened to it. It's duet narration with a full cast, which I love those. Those are always so good. So this is Cole. Cole's dad was a serial killer, and this follows the brothers' lives as adults from the trauma of all of this happening when they were younger. And so we have Nova. Nova was rescued by Cole in the first book, which is why I suggested skipping this review if you're planning to read the series. And so Nova is trying to like readjust kind of to life. Her best friend is really kind of overbearing, but her best friend cares about her and loves her, and she doesn't realize that her being worried about Nova is becoming overbearing for Nova, if that makes sense. And so Nova just really needs some space. And so she moves into an apartment that Cole has on his property. And so she's living there. And Cole is still investigating the whole thing that went down in the first book. And there's a very nosy reporter and really threatening, scary type messages start being left for Nova, because this is Catherine Kells, no one gets
And
a happy
nobody's ever
ending
safe.
until there's a murder.
Yeah. Pretty
So
much.
I love this one too, rated at 5 stars. I'm very invested in this series and
Okay.
can't wait for the next one.
Okay. Speaking of next ones, what do you got next?
Dang it. Okay, so a little while ago, we had a subscriber who had gotten the arc for this book and told me that I would enjoy it because we did that amnesia video. And so it finally came out. So I listened to this while I was also pulling
Pulling
Tansy.
Tansy. Okay.
Ruby, so Ruby the kitten,
Yeah.
she has two modes, like cuddle mode or attack mode, and you never know which mode you're getting unless you're like in the middle of attack mode, and it is wild. So attack mode today has been pretty rough. So I've shut the door. So she's on the other side of the door, and I can see this little black paw keeps
Yeah.
coming out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So this is Love Wells Kept by Hannah Bailey. Bailey Hannah, sorry. I always say her name backwards. Bailey
Mm-hmm.
Hannah. And so we have Kate and Jackson. They are married. They are very much in love. They have two young kids. And Kate has just found out that she's pregnant. They're not telling anyone yet. And they run this ranch like life is great. And then Jackson gets severely hurt and is like life flighted off the ranch to the hospital. She goes, drives the several hours there, and he has had to have surgery. He is in a medically induced coma for some time, and she just sits there and waits for him to wake up with his brothers. And when he wakes up, he has no idea who she is at all, doesn't have a clue. And she is devastated. And so this is the story of those two trying to find their way back to each other. So I kind of feel like it's almost like Marriage in Crisis, because he like has no idea who she is, and he's a little frustrated, like, you know, with life and stuff and trying to figure stuff out, and it's hard for her too. So I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. You got more?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So you know how we like cheating books?
Uh-huh.
Have you read any of the ones by Raina Azur? Azure? Azure?
No, I think that name's familiar as because you were reading something by her, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
I finished Convincing Carrie last week or the week before, and I enjoyed that one. So I read the next book in that series. The first one was about Sadie, and it was like too collegey and young for me. I just wasn't vibing with it. So like, I don't really want to read this one. I didn't even DNF it. I like, it was just like, this just isn't, you know what I mean? It just
Yep.
wasn't for me. So I liked Convincing Carrie, so I decided to read Noticing Natalie. So let's talk about it. So Natalie and Tim have been best friends since they were little. And Natalie's mom died, and his family, while her dad was still around, his family really took her in, and she was part of their family. And they were like best friends, even though Tim like had lots of girlfriends. Natalie was like kind of secretly in love with him, but loved their friendship and was okay with all of this. So eventually they graduate, go off to college, and we see a lot of like flashbacks of their relationship building. So eventually we get to Natalie is finishing up, she's I think a physician's assistant, she's finishing up exams, and the week before that they hook up. And Tim, like, this is probably too much of a spoiler, so if you don't want spoilers, don't listen to the rest of this, but Tim, uh he cheats on her because he thinks that maybe they just want to be friends with benefits, and she wouldn't care, even though they spent the entire weekend together. And she's at exam, like taking her exams, and doesn't answer her phone. So he's like, well, she probably won't care. I did not like that at all. Like, because he's like trying to rationalize cheating in his own mind, and like, well, I think we could just be friends with benefits and da da da. And that just, it really bothered me. And I'm probably being too spoilery because it was at the end of the book. I rated it 3 stars because the writing was okay. I just didn't like Tim. But the more I think about it, the more I should probably rate it lower. But then I don't want to rate it lower because I hate when people read cheating books and then rate it low because of the cheating.
Right.
So he just wasn't a hero that I felt was redeemable. Like it was annoying. Like she had moved on. So why did she want to hook back up with him?
Right. Okay.
Especially if that's the kind, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain how I need cheating to happen, but I need it to happen in a way where the guy, I don't know.
Not like that. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, not like this. It just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not fair to rate it lower, even though in my mind I'm like, 1 star, stupid book.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then last, but of course not least, I got the ALC for Savage King by Natalie Kane. And this is duet narration by Jason Clark and Molly Stark, and it comes out on July 16th. It is kind of a dark mafia, he falls first, very insta-lovey book. So I know those things kind of contradict each other, but it really worked in this one. So this is book 3 of The Kings of Vegas. So we have Violet. Violet's sister went missing and their parents had died, and Violet is a couple years older, so she felt very much in charge of her sister. And her sister goes missing. She was missing for 5 years when Violet gets a postcard in the mail from her sister, or a letter in the mail from her sister with no return address, but it's postmarked Vegas. And her sister references some fight clubs that she's been forced to go to. So Violet packs everything up, moves to Vegas, and she's been there for about 2 years. She goes to all these fights, as many as she can, trying to find out anything. And then she catches the eye of Mateo, who's a fighter there, and he demands that she be brought back to his office and da 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 da. And she ends up going home with him. They sleep together and she drugs him so she can snoop through his stuff to see what his connection is with this trafficking ring and all of this stuff. And let's just say this does not stop Mateo for falling for her. I know it sounds like it really shouldn't work, but it really did work in this. I really enjoyed it, and I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. You know what? Works for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is my reading week. It was long.
Yeah. I will say, just so you guys know what's coming, so because you were talking about that cheating book, I am beta reading right now the new book by S.T. Moores. We're just getting like 2 chapters a week, so it's absolute friggin' torture.
Yeah, somebody keeps whining to me about this.
Yes, but it is the book that comes right after. What is the book called? The one that we love by her.
A Marriage of Discretion.
Yeah, so this is like a Marriage of Convenience or something like that. Or Marriage of Deceit.
The next
Marriage of Deceit is what it's called.
The sister.
So it's the sister to Alessio. Yeah,
because you were like, I don't remember all these details. And then I'm like, blah, 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 all about it. And then you got me all hyped up for it.
Yeah, it's not out yet. But it will be soon. I'm beta reading it. So hopefully within the next month or 2. I don't know that we have a date, but I'm
excited for it to come out.
So that is coming. So
and then I'll get to read it all at once instead of chapters.
I know. Torture. Absolutely. I'm like every day looking to see if it's been updated for more. Torture. So anyhow. Okay. Well, let's wrap this
up. Books that are coming that's torture. Swathi messaged and asked me to read some blurbs for her upcoming book, and I won't talk about any of that. She just wanted some feedback on it, and I was like, oh my god, when can I read this book? So I think it's coming in the fall. I don't know if she has an exact release date yet, but we will definitely have that on. It'll definitely be on my TBR, and we will definitely keep you guys updated. You are not going to want to miss this one. Yeah. I don't know what she's told people, so I don't want to say anything, but it has me very excited. Yeah. Very excited.
Love Swathi. Okay.
It's not a typical contemporary romance, and I'll just... Okay.
Let's wrap this up because we have
Make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and all the Wednesdays in July for new videos from us.
Yeah. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.